Swami, you're muted, Swami.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, Swami.
Yes.
Audio is absent. Can you hear me now? I think it's there.
We can hear you.
To hear.
I'm not able to hear you. I'm not able to hear you at all. What is wrong? Let me see what is wrong. Are you speaking? Can anybody tell me? Hello?
Yes. We are able to hear you.
Now I can hear you. Good. So let me share screen and share screen. Where did it go? It's not working. Okay. Just a second.
Oh. No.
Share screen.
ఎటువంటి కొడదాం
Please mute yourself if you are on unmute. Please mute yourself or unmute yourself when you want to ask questions. Okay. I'm not able to share for some reason. Hold on a second. There's a problem here. Share screen is not working. I don't know why. This is really funny. I guess now you can see, right? Can you see?
Yes, we.
Different
Yes.
times.
You
Okay.
can see the screen. Yeah.
Okay. So first, for this, you need to know the concept of Advaita here, right? And I wanted to, first of all, I thought I would skip Advaita view here. But I think, all of us should be on the same page regarding Advaita view. And also, is somebody misrepresenting the original intent of Śaṅkarācārya? That also we should be clear, right? We are not talking about two small individuals somewhere communicating with each other or something like that. We are talking about Śaṅkarācārya's view and Madhvācārya's view. And we are talking about something which is going to shake up or try to shake up the belief system, the trust and everything of so many people, right? Because most people who grow up in these kind of families would trust in their system of thought. They would think that anything other than what their acharyas have said is totally wrong. So, and this we are taking the leap. I guess all of us have got a lot of guts to look at these in an impartial way. Let's try to do that. Okay. So what Śaṅkarācārya says is the effects such as hot, cold, grief, happiness, and so on. Just a second. Let me just get rid of something here. Hold on a second. Yeah. Or non-existent, Asat, since they are changing. Sat is Brahman, Atman, always existent and non-changing. Asat is like mirage. It appears even though there is no water in a desert. All effects are mere appearances. They truly don't exist without the basis or Atman. This is the summary of Śaṅkara Bhashyan Nasate Vidyato Bhavo Nabhavo Vidyate Sataha. I will clarify. Just a second. All effects, such as spots, are asat. They are never known independent of the cause, which is the lump of clay. So a pot is just a lump of clay. It just is in a different form, that's all. So pot can never be known without the lump of clay. If you analyze using reasons, pramanas, the effects are not different from cause. So the effects, which is a pot, they are not different from the cause, that is the mud or the lump of clay. I am actually summarizing Śaṅkara Bhashya here, okay? I am not trying to deviate from Śaṅkara Bhashya. Pots are essentially lumps of clay with a particular form, right? They are asat because they always are subject to transformation. Here and there, there's some English mistakes. I'll correct them and paste it, send it out later. I have to upload a number of PowerPoints I have not uploaded, but we'll do it. So the parts are asat because parts are subject to transformation. It can break, it can do, a lot of things can happen to real parts. So transformation makes them to be known as by the term asat. We have a notion of this exists and this does not exist, right? We have a notion, and that is known as sadbuddhi, asad-buddhi. So in our intelligence, this computer is there, the cell phone is there, this is here. Oh, there is no cloth here, there is no water here. So we have the feeling of something exists, something does not exist. Regarding which object, the notion that it exists does not change is sat. So the thing is, in a particular object, if you constantly have the idea that it exists, then that is a sat. For those objects, if the notion that it exists changes, so suppose I say I saw a pot, then I say somebody took the pot, I don't see the pot. So the pot doesn't exist here. So the notion of existence of pot changes from existing to non-existing. If that is the case, such an object is not sat. It is asat. That's how Śaṅkarācārya defines these terms. I'm taking originally what he defines. If a pot is destroyed, then we don't feel that we lose the idea that it exists. Then don't we feel that we lose the idea that it exists? Yes, what got destroyed. So we lose the feeling that it exists, right? But Śaṅkarācārya says, no, no, no. When the pot is destroyed, we know that existence is still there, that isness, something exists, is still there regarding any other object. So what is this Brahman? Is mere Sat, mere existence. And that existence does not vanish away as long as we perceive something in this universe. We are in this universe now. We can't run away. And we are perceiving something. We could perceive a cloth or a light or a computer or a book. It doesn't matter. But existence is there. But these objects only refer to existence. So the Brahman is pure Sat, pure existence. So like mirage objects seem to appear, though non-existing, what exists is Sat alone. Objects do not exist without a cause, that is Sat. So mirage, in the mirage, though non-existing, it seems to appear. Like water, there is no water in the mirage, but it appears. In 14th shloka, Śaṅkara Bhashya states, hot, cold, matra, sparshastha konte, ashitoshna, sukha, dukkadaha. In that, aniyata, niyata, two terms are explained by Śaṅkarācārya. I just wanted to explain. Hot, cold, sukha, dukkha are anitya, he says. Anitya means they come and go. Śaṅkarācārya clearly separates Brahman as both nitya and anāśī. So the thing is, it's not only eternal, it is anāśī. Nitya means, even though Prithvi, according to the Samkhya philosophers, Prithvi can undergo changes, but it exists, right? It doesn't run away, it still exists constantly. So that is nitya in a way, and it undergoes transformation. But Śaṅkarācārya says Brahman is different. It is nitya and anāśī. There is no transformation, no destruction. So you have to have both nityatva and anāśitva to define Brahman. So Brahman is changeless and eternal. So he just clarifies that. Now, bottom line of Śaṅkara Bhashya is there. What is it? Brahman is eternal and unchanging. Objects are, after careful analysis of pramanas, are non-existing in the final sense, independent of the cause. But if you look at any object, that's only the cause you are seeing. If you look at a pot, you're looking at the mud only. So he compares this universe as the experience of a mirage. How water in a mirage appears to be, but when evaluated, does not exist separate from the cause, Brahman. So does not exist. Water in the mirage exists because of the heated surface, right? Without that basis, heated surface, that water doesn't even appear. Why is the mirage water appearing? Because on the heated surface, there is density change and there is a reflection of rays. Hence, because of this hot surface, you see the mirage. So, other than the hot surface, if there was no hot surface, mirage would not appear. Similarly, Brahman is the basis. Without the Brahman, nothing in this universe appears. So you cannot have universe experience without Brahman. So this universe experience is only because of Brahman exists. In some places, Śaṅkarācārya uses Rajju Sarpa analogy. That is, we have already talked about it. A rope appears as a snake. So this universe is like a snake with all the difference. We run around, we think that I am bound, I am upset, I am hurt. I want to be better than the other person. Kartatva, jñātratva, bhoktatva, I experience pleasure and pain. All these kind of experiences of this universe, multiplicity, everything is just a superimposition. Just like how snake is superimposed on the rajju or the rope. So the universe of experiences is a superimposition on Brahman, which is purely Atman, with no duality. So this is the bottom line of Śaṅkarācārya. Do you agree?
So I had one doubt over here.
Okay.
In the Shankara Bhashya, at least in some of the cases, it is mentioned that the universe is neither real nor unreal. Because
We'll come to that.
mithyatva.
No,
Yeah,
we'll
okay,
come to
okay.
that. We'll come to
Okay.
that. Okay. That's a good question. We will come to that. That's exactly what Madhvācārya will talk about in a few minutes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So what you said, jagat is sadasat vilakshana. It is neither sat nor asat. That is known as sadasat vilakshana. So, one second. So in Advaita, this universe is relatively real, they say. Vyavaharika satya. Vyavaharika satya means it's real, but it's only relatively real. If I go out, is rain mithyā, rain non-existent? When you go out and without an umbrella, you will get wet. So the rain is relatively real to me. All our experiences are relatively real. But in the final, if you have the final knowledge of Atman, all these things will vanish. There is what do you call, in the sense that you cannot experience without knowing that everything is Brahman. So you will not have the experience of anything else if you truly have that realization. There is only Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. So that person will not have the Vidwan will not have the experiences of pleasure, pain, all these things. So this is a very complex, questionable concept, because as long as there is the Triputi means there are three things: the experiencer, the object which is experienced, and the means of experience. That is jñāta, jñēya, jñānam. Jñānam is the knowledge, right? So the knower, known, and the knowledge to know. All these three, as long as they are separate, there is some experience. And Brahman is not experienced. Brahman is experienced when only all these things dissolve. That is, there are no three. There is no knower, known, and knowledge. There is no experiencer, the object of experience, and the process of experience. So, this is finally what Śaṅkarācārya says. If one gets jnana, they will not perceive the rope in the snake. They will only know that is only a rope. There is no snake here. Similarly, a knowledgeable person will know there is only Brahman, and he is the Ahame Vedagam Sarvam. I am everything, and there is no there is no other thing other than that. So, what Advaita is saying, bottom line is, what do you call? I cannot term the universe as Asat or non-existent. The reason is Asat Chet na pratiyeta. If the world were non-existent, it would not have appeared. Like the horns of a rabbit hair. There is no horn. For any rabbit we know of, there are no horns. And so that cannot appear. Non-existing cannot appear. So jagat cannot be totally non-existing or asat. It has to be different from asat. So but is it sat? If it is sat, it is non-changing, ever existing, like Brahman. So that is also not true. That means I see a lot of changes in this universe. because it is changing, it cannot be Brahman or Sat. Because it appears, it cannot be Asat, which cannot appear. So, universe has to be not Asat, not Sat. So, it has to be so known as Sat, Asat, Vilakshana. This is what Śaṅkarācārya says. Is this clear?
Krishna, then there is a question. In the Gita, Bhagavan says Tattvadarshi knows both about the Sat and Asat. Then according to Advaita, a Gnani is the Tattvadarshi, and is there a difference between a Tattvadarshi and a Gnani then?
No, no difference. No difference.
Swami, I have a question.
Yeah, please speak louder. I can't hear some people.
Can you hear me now?
Come closer to the mic, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
In the case of the rope snake example, when the person mistakes the rope to be the snake, and when he realizes it, the realization is of the form that, it is not the snake, it is the rope, but it appeared as the snake, right? That is the realization. It is not you don't realize how there was no snake in the first place, right?
Sure.
It's not that extreme. It is always like, it did appear to as a snake to me, but it is not, right?
Yeah, true.
And that is how it is Sat and Asat both, right?
Yes. See, the thing is, see one thing though. We are only talking about jagat now, which is like this snake you experience, right? That is neither Sat nor Asat. That's what the statement is being made by an Advaitic. So the nature of jagat is not Asat, because a non-existing cannot appear. And because the universe is always appearing to us, it is always there. It appears to us. But only when we get jnana, that all we can see is Atman and nothing else.
So the word Sat and Asat basically is something that is inherently existent and something that takes its existence from something else, right?
What does
That
it
can
mean?
also be as Asat, right? Asat means it does exist, but not inherently by itself, but rather it takes its existence from something else. It exists because of something else, right? Is that how Asat is defined here?
See here, Asat is defined as that which cannot appear at all, that which doesn't exist, and hence it can never appear. Like the horns of a hare, it is not there at all. Gagana Kusuma, another example is this. There is a sky flower. There is no flower in the sky. So it doesn't appear at all. So it is absolutely non-existing entities or Asat. And Sat is absolutely existing entity, which is Brahman. But there is a third category known as that which is not Sat and that which is Asat, according to Advaita. And that is the Jagat. Jagat seems to appear. Sat chet na badhyeta, Asat chet na pratiyeta. If it is truly Asat, it wouldn't have appeared. And if it is truly Sat, it could not have been sublated by knowledge. When I get the true knowledge, there is no universe. So the universe gets sublated, like how camphor gets burnt. It is no more. Once the camphor is burnt, it's not there, it's gone. Like that, the universe experience gets burnt. So this universe is strange. It is not that which exists, because existing is only Atman, and it is not that which does not exist, because if it does not exist, it wouldn't have appeared, it wouldn't have given me this experience of this universe. See, that is why they say this is Sad Asat Vilakshana. The Jagat is not Sat, not Asat. This should be clear, right? This is Advaita view.
Yes, this is in the Adhyasa Bhashya, exactly bounded.
Yeah. So basically, I wanted everybody to sort of review the Advaita position properly.
I have my saying in this 1 minute. See,
Yeah.
because it is said in the book, I agree, we should not have the opinion like that. If it is agreeable 100% for us, if we can agree, we should say that I agree. Merely because it is said in the book XYZ, we should not accept the pramana. That's what I feel. If it is convincing for us 100%, we should say yes. We should say yes.
See, here we are only talking about the Advaita view, right? Are we truly
Yes,
represent?
whatever view you say, but if it is convincing for us 100%, if you have no doubt, if it is very, very clear, then we should say yes. Because somebody said that, some book says that, we should not accept like that. I feel like that.
No, that is fine. You are okay. Truly, you have to have Satya Śaṅkarācārya as it is yourself, right? That is true. Or truly, you should be 100% convinced about anything. But that we are not talking about a personal conviction here. We are talking about an Advaita view right now. This is Advaita.
That I
We are only talking about. We are only talking about a dialogue between Dvaita and Advaita, and we want to first understand what Advaita said.
So what Advaita says, whatever you said, that's 100% correct. But when somebody says something, if it is really convincing, we should say yes.
True.
If it is not convincing, we cannot say yes.
True, agree. No question.
We cannot agree on that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. There is no question here.
It is said in that book, so I agree, we cannot say like that. That's what I want to say.
See, that is different. We are not even talking about it here. We are talking about.
No. Somebody said it is said in the book, somebody referred, that's why I said. It is said in that book, somebody referred.
Adhyasa Bhashya. No. What the person said is, whatever I am saying is same as what is said in the Adhyasa Bhashya given by Śaṅkarācārya. That is written by Śaṅkarācārya.
Okay.
So we are. What he said was, it is true. Whatever you have said seems to be same as what was said in another textbook of Śaṅkarācārya, that is Brahma Sutra Bhashya Introduction. That's all.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, let's move.
Can you briefly again say what Sat and Asat is? Just briefly.
Sat here refers to something which constantly exists and does not change. Asat is that which is non-existing in this particular context.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah. Now Advaita view. Madhvācārya is now summarizing the Advaita view. Okay, now Madhvācārya's view starts, but he's summarizing the Advaita view here. So, Atman is Sat, and they say Advaita say Jagat is mithyā, and the term mithyā is explained as Sat, Asat, Vilakshana, or that which is not Sat, and that which is not Asat. Okay, now Madhvācārya says, look at the quadrant. There are 4 quadrants here. On the left, there's the top quadrant. Oh, I cannot. Let me see. Oh, yeah, here it is. You can see the cursor, right?
Yes.
The cursor is on the left top.
Yes.
Yeah. So the thing is, Sat is ever existing. That will not change. Okay. Asat is not existing. Sat and Sat Asat, if I say, it is both existing and non-existing. This is a vyaghata, a contradiction in itself. There is no object which is both existing and non-existing. So I put a cross here on the lower left quadrant. So the upper left quadrant, yes, Sat exists, and that's ever existing, non-changing. On the right top, Asat is not existing. So that is fine. And it doesn't exist. So Sadasat does not exist and Asat does not exist. Fine. Then we are only worried about 2 quadrants here. Sat on the left top, on the right bottom is Jagat, which is Asatat Satasat Vilakshana. Neither existing nor non-existing. Right? or neither existing or non-existing in brackets. So we are not worried about this jagat. What Madhvācārya says is, look, this quadrant, the Sadasat Vilakshana category does not exist. He says, any object you can think of can be either Sat or Asat. It can exist or not exist. There is nothing known as a neither existing nor non-existing. This category does not exist. So jagat as mithyā cannot be accepted. Jagat is never mithyā. It is never this, because this category itself is questionable and nothing comes in this category. And let me prove why. That is his viewpoint. Okay, now he goes. Dvaita says, see, what did you say? If it is Asat, it cannot appear. So if it is not, this is Advaita view on this highlight is Advaita view. If it is Asat, it cannot appear. I will say this is wrong to say if it is Asat, it cannot appear. If it is non-existing, it cannot appear. But I can say there is an example which will not even make this statement correct, which will falsify the statement. What is that? Dvaitin says, even the non-existing has pratiti or cognition. It appears to be true. Why? A silver in the shell, which is non-existent, seems to appear. One second. What do you call? Here is a logic. So I will explain the logic first. Silver in the shell, which is non-existent, seems to appear as non-existent to the observer who is not deluded, right? That means a guy, he has seen silver and shell constantly for a long time. He's an expert in the silver, expert in shell. When he looks at it, oh, this is shell, this is not silver, he will say it right away. Because he is not deluded. He has no questions in his mind. Okay. See, some people may have a small difficulty. If you see a big cat, they can think that it is actually a tiger. But a person who really knows what a tiger is, knows, hey, that is a tiger, this is a cat. He knows the difference. Here, if somebody knows the difference between shell and silver, the person is knowledgeable. Then, or he has come close and checked out, or even he has taken the shell and put it on a stone and it breaks. Silver should not break like that. So obviously there is no silver. So he is very clear about it. When he is clear about it, when he is playing with shells near a sea shore or something, he knows that there is no silver and he doesn't get enamored by that. So he just plays with the shell and breaks it up, or whatever he does near an ocean beach. But if a person who is deluded, what does he do? A deluded person will one second. Just a second. Here it is. So what the Advaitin argument continues, there is nothing which is neither Sat or Asat. It can be either on one of the categories. It can be Sat or Asat, but it cannot be not Sat and not Asat, right? So we already proved that the non-existing things can appear too. Non-existing silver appeared in the shell, right? So for a person with less discrimination, who cannot discriminate between silver and shell, he will think that is silver. So with your very definition that of Asat, saying the Asat should not appear, that itself is wrong. And non-existing silver is appearing. If you say jagat is Anirvacanīya on the other side, suppose you don't like this terminology, Asat, Sat and all those things, let us assume Anirvacanīya is what you want to say. Jagat is non-referenceable. Anirvacanīya means Anirvacanīya is not in that sense. Anirvacanīya is same as Sadasat Vilakshana. That is a funny thing, some of these things are not easy to understand. Anirvacanīya, when you look at Sanskrit, it means that I cannot explain this. What is meant there is, you cannot say whether it is, even then it is the same problem. A non-existing silver seems to appear as real. It should not happen according to your own definition of Asat. So you may change your view, saying that no, world is pratibhasika. World means appears to exist like a mirage. It is not a vyavaharika satya. It is not something relatively real. It is absolutely just an appearance. Unreal. But we say the situation does not change here. Pratibhasika, which is just apparent, is causing a real effect of cognition of silver in the shell, right? That means, so silver, if you say silver is pratibhasika, silver doesn't even exist, but it appears only. Then the appearance is causing a real effect on an ordinary person who doesn't discriminate. He will look at a lot of shells and say, oh, so much of silver is here. I don't need to worry about money. All I have to do is go to the ocean, pick up all these shells because they're silver. And I'm a rich man. And nobody seems to understand I can be rich. And so he will go, and a deluded person will rush to the sea and start picking up silver there, thinking that it is silver. So it is creating a real effect of cognition in a deluded person. So this universe, a non-existing universe, or an asat, which is what you say as pratibhasika, should not cause a real effect. Because it should not pratiyeta. Asat chet na pratiyeta. If it is asat, it should not appear at all. And that is why you are defining that this universe is not asat, not sat. What he says is, only one part of the dialogue Madhvācārya is disagreeing is, even if it is asat, it can appear, it can cause a real effect. A non-existing silver is causing a real effect of attraction for an ordinary person who will rush to go get the silver. This is what his argument is. See, bottom line what? Whatever may be the argument, right? Both of these two systems, Dvaita and Advaita, are going to keep their views. If you look at Advaita view, you may say that, oh, that sounds like okay. If you look at the Dvaita view, oh, he is fundamentally denying a quantity which is neither Sat nor Asat. So that seems like, right? Because he says that, then he asks a question to Advaitin. Hey, what is your proof that everything is one? When all this jñāna goes away, everything becomes one. What is the proof? He says, oh, my experience says that I have got a realization. I can see Atman in everybody. Hey, then why were you roaming around asking for money, donations, wearing different kind of orange robes, saffron robes? Don't come here. You're not even existing. The world doesn't exist for you. No. They are Jīvanmuktas, right? They appear to be working and they appear to be acting in the society. They are not asking money for their own selves. They are not even eating more than one meal or 1.5 meal a day. They are sincere people. If they are sincere people, they know that Brahman is everything is Brahman and everybody is deluded. They are realized. Look, I don't even such a person I have not seen such a person who is not upset with something, or who does not get any pain, who is not pained by anything. So you are just imagining that everything will become one. There is no proof for it. And that is the Dvaitin's view. Dvaitin's view is I'm seeing even the old people, they are suffering for hunger, food, water, shelter. Last, even before dying, you can say somebody is a jnani, but even before dying, he is going through pain, he shouts. I cannot agree that the person is realized and things like that. So Jīvanmukti I will not accept. That is the Dvaitin view. Then now, look, you and I cannot, because my experience, an Advaitin's experience cannot be experienced by a Dvaitin. Advaitin's experience cannot be experienced by an Advaitin. Right? These two experiences are non-transferable. I can say I experienced. You can say you experience something else. We are not able to communicate with each other. What do? Okay, let us say Shruti says this. If Advaitin says, Shruti says universe is mithyā. I don't agree, Mr. Advaitin. That's what Madhvācārya says. Vishvam Satyam. He quotes from Rigveda, by the way. And I could not locate these statements, and even in the original textbook, they have not given where these statements occur in the Rigveda. But I was told by ācārya saying that, look, clearly the Vedas say Vishvam Satyam, the universe is real. Hechiketa Satyamiti, Kavir Mani, and look at not only this universe real, the Ishvara of the Ishavasya Upanishad, who is known as the Kavi, Manishi, who is controlled all the minds. He is Krantadarshi. Kavi means he knows everything. Jnani, Mahajnani, Sarvajna, Paribhuhu, Swayambhuhu, he existed by himself. He created this Shashvati Samabhyaham, the world of creation. He created the Chaturmukha Brahma and all the Devatas and all this is everything around us. And he established the life, the process of life where people get bodies, people leave bodies, people use these bodies which are vehicles for them to expend away their karmas, get experiences using this body. We see this all the time that we are experiencing things. We have this body and there are rules and regulations. So many 100 years we may live. We may not live after 100 years. So you see the regularity in this universe. All this regularity of the sun rising in the east, the stars, this wind, the nature of earth, water, fire, all these things. The nature of earth is different from nature of water. The nature of water is different from nature of fire. So thing is, all these have separations. And my bank account does not affect your bank account, hopefully. So the thing is, everybody is separated. Asambhedaya, it says. One will not mix up with the other. My karmas will not mix up with your karmas. If I do wrong things, I will experience the effects of my action. You will not experience. So this separation, this divine cosmic rhythm, the process, all these things are established by this Kavi or this Manishi, the Brahman, according to Ishavasya Upanishad. You say these are not correct. We know according to the Shastras that there is reality, world is real. So we don't agree with your whole assessment that this whole universe can be negated when you get jnana. And such a jnana never comes. And it is all an illusion that it comes. So we don't agree with your viewpoint, period. That is how Dvaitins tries to argue. At the end of the day, Dvaitin and Vishishtadvaitin have similarities in one aspect. One aspect is both of them do not agree the category of Sadasad Vilakshana. Jagat as Sadasad Vilakshana is not agreeable to both Vishishtadvaitins and Dvaitins. Now we have only explained to you the Dvaitin dialogue. But a couple of other things exist. Couple of points Dvaitin makes. Look, Advaitin, when you look at life and say, the bodies are here and there is a war in front of you, that is Arjuna's situation in Bhagavad Gītā. Obviously, the war can cause death. So this Sharira can go away, the bodies can go away. Why don't you agree that the bodies are not unreal, but they are not long lasting. They last only so long, depending on the karmas. So the sukha and dukkha, the pleasure and pain are not long lasting. They come and go. But don't say they are non-existent. Non-existent is like, see, the terminology again is difficult to understand. They are non-existent, different from Brahman according to Śaṅkarācārya. So at the end, they always, Śaṅkarācārya has to agree, according to even the great ācārya Gaudapada, Dvaita mithyā, right? Anything is Dvaita is mithyā and is non-existing. So the universe is like a snake which never existed. So when you say non-existing, that seems to be not supported. That is not supported by the Vedic statements. Vishwam Satyam, Yachiketa Satyamiti, Kavihi, Manishi, Paribuhu, Swayambhu. There are so many verses in the Upanishads to establish Satya. In the Bhagavad Gītā also, if you can, Asatyam apratishtam te jagadāhura nishvaram. Look at what this was not quoted in this particular shloka by Madhvācārya. But Madhvācārya, when we look at the 16th chapter, we will figure out what he said there. Asatyam apratishtam te jagadāhura. The Rakshasa are Asura Prakriti people, Asuric people, Asuric tendency people. They think that this world is Asatya, Asatyam, Apratishtam. There is no basis of this universe. Te Jagadahu Anishwaram. And there is no Lord to this Ishvara itself. There is nothing called anything called the Lord. We can do what we want in this world as long as you don't get hurt. Go steal. Enjoy. Marry anybody you want. Do whatever you want to do. This is for fun. There is no life after death. There is nothing after death. Make use of this golden opportunity. That is, they are the Asuric people who talk like that. And they say that this world is unreal. So Krishna himself doesn't like the idea that the world is unreal. Why are you taking that position? This is the Dvaitin view of this verse. Is this clear? Dvaita's argument against this, only one aspect. Dvaita is not arguing about everything else here. Only one thing. If it is asat or non-existent, even that entity has a pratiti or a cognition, it can create a cognition. Silver is creating a cognition because silver is not there in the shell. But there is something called silver somewhere else, right? You have experienced silver in some other way. You might have done a window shopping. You couldn't afford to buy silver. You went into a big showroom where a lot of silver vessels and all the ornaments were shown. So this is silver, this is silver. You might have seen. Only then when you come to the ocean, you see shell. Oh, it looks like silver. Oh, that is silver. You mistake that shell to be silver because you already knew that the silver existed. So, existing silver, which is non-existing in the shell, existed somewhere. That is why it is causing you a real problem. So, asatyat satya siddhi, right? Asat, non-existing things can create real effects. Madhvācārya is only talking about it as pratiti. Pratiti means it is cognizable. The silver, which not even existed, is cognizable. So you cannot say non-existing cannot be cognized, cannot appear. That is the only statement he is attacking. Hope this is clear. Any questions?
Śaṅkara's commentary on this, which you gave a few slides back, it clearly says that the world is like a mirage, right? They themselves are talking of mirage.
True. See, that is a very good point, because if we had stopped by saying it is anitya or transforming, see, if we had determined that which does not transform is nitya, that which transforms is anitya. If you had accepted it, then there is no question for Dvaitin. Dvaitin accepts. See, Dvaitin also said the bodies are anitya. Body come and go. Experience of sukha, dukkha is anitya. They come and go. The problem, see, if you only say change as the determining or understanding of nitya and anitya, then we don't have any problem. Even the Vishishtadvaitin agrees that bodies will go away. They are anitya. It is like saying, I saw a tree, somebody burnt the tree with fire, and I don't see a tree now. But that doesn't mean the tree never existed. Tree was there, it gone, it went away. So you have to accept tatkalika satyatva. At that time it was true. You have to accept what Śaṅkarācārya, that is Advaita, says is, even when you perceive it is not there. You're perceiving this multiplicity, it is actually not there. You're perceiving this snake, is actually not there in the rope. So this is where the difference started becoming very powerful between these two schools. What Advaita says is, this whole world experience, the moment you say experience, whether I am experiencing hot, cold, or anything in this universe, the moment there is an experiencer, something to be experienced, and the process of experience, there is jñāna, there is Veda. When there is Veda, there is no knowledge. And the true knowledge is Atman only. And we have experience. Ramana Maharshi says he is only Advaita. What are you talking about? We have other people who can support us. If you don't support us, that's fine. But now, how can two people who have different experience, on one end, Madhvācārya can quote, Prahlada was there, Dhruva was there, they experienced Narayana in this form. They constantly, again, after seeing Lakshmi Narasimha, Prahlada went away to the forest to do more penance for the next 10,000 years or something. So they can quote real experiences based on their own set of devotees. The Dvaitins can quote all the devotees, and the Advaitins can quote all the what do you call Nirguna Brahma Upasakas or Nirguna Brahma Jñānis. So how do we determine? We only have, for ordinary people who are not at the stage of jnana, which Śaṅkarācārya is talking about, we can only refer to Vedas. And in the Vedas, there are probably support for both views. Here, we have not considered what Śaṅkarācārya takes as support for his view. Obviously, he uses Yatra Sarvam Atmaiva Bhut Tat Kenakam Pashyete, the Ishavasya verse, right? Yatra Sarvam Atmaiva Bhut. There is a verse there, when everything has become Atman. Or there is another verse which says, which states, when Yatra tu Dvaitam iva bhavati, tad itara itaram. That verse is there, right? Yatra tu Dvaitam iva bhavati. So even solving the problem is also not easy, because there are certain verses in the Vedas which support, if there is duality as it were, then one can touch the other, one can hear other, one can see other. If there is no with what will you see what? With what will you hear what? With what will you touch what? All these statements are there. So even Vedas becomes difficult. That is why these three systems will exist together forever. We are only now not going to reconciliation, other things. We don't have that knowledge to do reconciliation at this point. We can only state what these acharyas have stated. That's all.
One question or comment, Krishna. In this particular verse, there is a use of bhava and abhava, right?
Yeah.
But Madhvācārya actually takes the Mula Prakriti as nitya and Brahman as nitya, based on this particular this thing, na sato
Yeah.
vidyate. But
Yeah.
I was thinking, how can you derive such a meaning of
Very
Mula
easy.
Prakriti?
It can be. No, it can be done. It can be done. See, there, what do you call? There are different meanings of Sat and Asat, right? So, what do you call? Asadva, idamagra, asit. Asat is also referring as Karana in the Vedas. Asadva, idamagra, asit. Tato vai sadajayata. That is also there, right?
No,
And
but
Asat,
here Krishna says na asato vidyate bhavo. So that means asat does not endure, or bhava means how do we take it? How do I take it?
no. That's a good point. It's a good point you brought. Look at how Śaṅkara Madhvācārya takes it. Let us read that. Good point you brought. Hold on a second. Let me read that. Nitya atma ityuktam kim atmaiva nityah ahosvid anidapi tat kim nityaha nasata itya asataha karanasya sato brahmanascha bhavona vidyate. Look at how he breaks the verse. The verse nasato vidyate bhavo na bhavo vidyate sataha. Here Madhvācārya says asataha karanasya na asataha, right? Vidyate the karanasya sato brahmanascha. What do you call sato brahmana as sat, abhavahana vidyate. Both of them do not have abhava. He takes it as abhava. Nasato vidyate abhavo. That is the vidyate. When abhava joins the word vidyate, what happens? Vidyate bhavo. That is the beautiful Panini Savarna Dirgha Sandhi, this one, right? Sandhi, right?
Okay.
Guna Sandhi, I think. I'm forgetting Sanskrit here. 1 second, sorry. Somebody will bash me for sure.
So
This is Avagraha Sandhi.
Avagraha, right? Avagraha. Nasate, nasato vidyate bhavo. When you join it, there was an abhava there where the alopa happened. The a went away and the bhava stayed there. So that itself is a sandhi there. Nasato vidyate bhavo na abhavo vidyate sataha. Abhavaha brahmanaha sataha. Brahmanaha, that is why Madhvācārya says asataha karanasya. What is the karana for Brahma, for Madhvācārya? Karana is only matter, the pura prakriti, or what do you call that? Mula prakriti, right? Mula prakriti is the causal thing from which this manifested universe came. So the Mula prakriti is an unmanifest prakriti, which is known as Mula prakriti. That was the karana. Karanasya asataha karanasya sataha brahmanascha abhavo na vidyate. And he quotes the Vishnu Purana there. Prakritihi purushashchaiva nityau kalascha sattama. Iti vachanate. Prakriti, Purusha are both nitya. Kalascha sattama and also kala. Here Prakriti, Purusha is Jiva and Prakriti. Jiva, Prakriti and Kala all are nitya. It is said. So the question of abhava does not exist only. All are real. This is a real school, right? Dvaita is real school. The Prakriti is always real. It is nitya. It is always there. But it was in the form of a Mula Prakriti or unmanifest Prakriti earlier before creation. After creation, it becomes this Prakriti of this universe which is manifest. So there is no negation of this Prakriti. There is no negation of Brahman, who is Sat. Asata sadajayata iticha. And that Asat is also known as Avyakta. Yeah, non-Avyakta is non-manifest, unmanifest. So look at how Madhvācārya takes the shloka. Glad that you mentioned this question, because Now we know Madhvācārya takes the original shloka itself is differently. Nasato vidyate abhavaha. Na abhavo vidyate sataha. He uses only the term abhava only twice in the shloka.
Yes,
Good point.
That's where you can apply the ayadi sandhi.
Yes.
Only by making it abhava in both
Both
ways.
places. In
Yes.
both places. Yeah.
I
And
think
he's
it's Savarna Tirtha in the first part, right? Is it Savarna Tirtha Sandhi in the first part or?
Yeah. And what is it?
Na abhavo.
See, if somebody is very much trained in the Advaita view, you cannot say abhava is said here.
Okay.
So the thing is, what do you call? You cannot take this as I'm sorry. Bhava is said here. You cannot take it as bhava. You should take it as abhava should not be taken on the first word. Somebody can say it, right? But Madhvācārya says, I have enough number of Upanishad statements to support me as jagat is real. So why should I accept your interpretation of the verse? So he has a view. So it is not that, Madhvācārya doesn't seem to understand Sanskrit. He takes nasato vidyate bhavo, he takes it as abhava, or something is wrong because he didn't understand Sanskrit. That cannot be said to Madhvācārya. Madhvācārya and all of his people will come with textbooks and brickbats to come and beat you up. Okay, so they have real reason to believe in what kind of Sanskrit they're using and how they're interpreting. We agree that there is a disagreement between the Advaita view and Dvaita view there. Does anybody know what Ramanuja.org takes the verse to be?
Yeah, Asat is the body which is ever changing. Sat is the Jīvatman.
No, the word abhava, he takes it like Śaṅkarācārya, right? Nasate vidyato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha. He takes it just like Śaṅkarācārya, but he understands it as nitya only. Bhava is not like existence, non-existence. Bhava is nityatva. Abhava is anityatva. That's what he says. So Ramanuja takes it the same verse, like same way Śaṅkarācārya interprets these words, but just replace it as a non-existing as existing to nitya. That's all. In fact, even Dvaitin also, Madhvācārya is also indicating the same. It is nitya, not the non-existing existing. That's what he's trying to say too. And he says,
is it variable and constant?
It is variable and constant is acceptable to all systems in a way. But there is one step extra Advaita goes and says that something is non-existing and which is appearing. See, the whole problem in Advaita is only because of the analogy of the rope snake and the analogy of shell silver. That's the only problem, which Dvaitins does not agree with. According to Dvaitin, I'm saying. According to Advaita, they're perfectly okay with their interpretation. Any questions? Other questions? Anybody else? I want all of you to understand this very clearly as why these acharyas differ and why Vishishtadvaitins and Dvaitins clearly negate the idea of Sadasad Vilakshana. This is the very fundamental thing. If you understand, that's very good. If you don't understand, write your questions, be honest. Don't worry about what other people think. Because at the end of the day, you should have a strong concept of this in life. Because this is a turning point in the entire Bhagavad Gītā. The whole Bhagavad Gītā will rotate on this hinge of nasato vidyate bhavo na bhavo vidyate sataha. And Dvaitins will say everything is real. The Prakriti is real. So there is no creation. Prakriti only transforms. So the Dvaitins' view becomes very solidly established at this point. and they can extend it in different ways, and the rest of Bhagavad Gītā will be a different text for them.
So the Dvaitins,
Tell me.
so the Dvaitins say that everything is real.
Sure,
Brahman,
everything is real. There is nothing unreal. And even the erroneous perception of silver in the shell is just a mistake. It is either a problem with the eyes, it's a problem of the mind, or is a problem. So, true, silver was there before, so silver was not imaginary. So somebody saw silver, but they couldn't understand if silver existed in the shell. Some people make mistakes, some people don't make mistakes. So what is the big deal? What is unreal and untrue, non-existing coming into existence? That's what they claim.
One comment here, Krishna. Whatever Dvaitins talk about the pratiti here, I think in the Vishtadvaitic view, in the Natve Vaham, that shloka, for the beginning, there itself, Ācārya Ramanuja has actually pointed out this particular thing of pratiti.
True. Yeah.
It is the 12th shloka in 2nd chapter. Natve
Yes.
jatu.
That is true. That is true. Yes.
Nasam natvam neme janadhipaha.
Yeah.
Nachayna bhavishyamaha.
No,
Sarve.
basically he has said that all three exist always.
Yeah.
Right? At least all the beings are separate from Ishvara, from Krishna.
Yeah, that is because when the Advaitic jnana dawns, the Veda jnana should be removed according to Advaita's argument. But still the Veda jnana is there even after that realization. In that context, pratiti is there.
The only thing is Śaṅkarācārya interprets it differently, right? This is Bheda is Sharira Bhavena Bheda, na Atma Bhavena. Sharira Bhedena Bheda there, right? He says there is only one Atma, but because of Sharira Bheda, he's talking about multiple. So, see, the Sanskrit there does not, it's a 60-40 decision, right? But Śaṅkarācārya justifies it, saying that all over the place, one Atma is there. Atma, Vaidamekam, Asit, everything is Atman only. So, I am not talking about a Jivatma here, I'm talking about the Brahman. It has to be only one. And all the bodies are just different bodies. And when you look at Jivas, they seem to exist. If you dig deeper into Jiva is nothing but Brahman, according to him. So that's how he clearly establishes his view based on that kind of a view. So it's a question of how you understand it, how you interpret it. That's all. Here, this class is not for reconciliation. So I'm not going to reconcile anything with anything else. We speak the truth as it is, as these ācārya said. That's all. Okay. I think it's 8 o'clock. Quite a lot of time. We are 15 minutes past the hour. So why don't you think about this and write up your questions if you have any. Let me ask you a question. Today's class, was it important? Or you knew already? I'm just repeating what we already said long time back. Was it important?
Yeah, for me it was important because that question was there. Why, how Madhva takes both as abhava.
Yeah, I think it is a very good class.
This is a very fundamental one.
Yeah, I think it's important because this kind of, if everything came from Prakriti, then the Brahman transforming itself, if something transformed, then it is subject to Kshaya, all that stuff gets taken out from the Madhva's view. So that's a very clever way of positioning the whole thing up front.
Yeah. So the thing is, many of the logic Advaitins and Vishtadvaitins share here, right? They share. Yeah.
For
All right,
me,
then. Tell me.
For me, the class was important because I also got the Advaita argument very clear. So both ways, it was very good.
True. Okay. All right. Excellent. Okay, then we'll stop here and continue with the Madhvācārya Bhashya next week. Hopefully, this will be easier for us to read Madhva Bhashya after this point.
Krishna Ji Sudarshan here.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about one point for the translation of Sat, Asat, and Sadasat. If we use the coined word immutable, then it would be more correct, I think, for the Sat. And Asat has to be non-existent, while Sadasat would Vilakshana could be like mutable part of it. So I think that's just a thought that I had in this scenario. Instead of using the other words as like real and unreal and things like that, it's the immutability and the mutability that they are talking about.
See, immutable, mutable, changeable, unchangeable, right?
Yeah. Like it's more than changeable and unchangeable. It's a more complicated term.
See, if you're talking about nityatva, anityatva, that means something is temporal and something is long-lasting. That is, unmutable means long-lasting, which is no change.
And so, yeah, immutable if you use it within the context of time, then it is long-lasting. But then immutable has to be, I think, used outside of the context of time itself, though.
True. Outside of context time, you can think of it that way. Think of it that way. So the thing is, immutable and mutable could be a way to look at it. But the thing is, the Sanskrit, Asat and Sat does not...
Asat is non-existent, that is separate. But I'm talking about Sadasat Vilakshana part of it. Like, so the one that they are talking about from Sadasat Vilakshana would be just a mutable component that they are talking about. Well, Asat is non-existent, so that's a separate category altogether.
Yeah, see, the thing is, that is a fair way of looking at it, and I want to think about it. See, because in Vishnu Purana, the same thing what you mentioned, what do you call, comes there. But I want to validate whether the Vishnu Purana is exactly saying what you're saying or not. I will check that. So we'll take this up later when I have time to look at it as non-existent and Sat as immutable. Okay, so these two possibilities are there. We have to also justify the Sanskrit there, right? Why is Sat immutable? Right? English is fine. You can come up with immutable, but how do you get the word immutability from the word Sat?
Because in every location where they are talking about Sat, that is what it's directing towards.
That is a different question. The question is, see, only way you can justify what you have said is, na sato vidyate bhavaha, na abhavo vidyate sataha. There, abhava means what? Is it immutability? Question comes up, right? In the original intent of the shloka, can we justify abhava as immutability? Because Sat should be immutable, and if Sat is immutable according to you, the immutability should be exactly same as abhava, and that doesn't gel with Sanskrit. Abhava is never associated with immutability. Well, maybe it is in only certain Vishnu Purana statements or something like that. It's maybe that's where I have to validate. I have to look into it.
Awesome. Thank you, Jim.
Namaste, everybody. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Simha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Paramastu. We started without a prayer, but it's okay.
Namaskaram.
Namaskar.